Instead of taking a break, we're going to move right on to our next story. This Sunday is Father's Day, and before you choose between that tie or some other gift, how about a big hug and appreciation that you have a relationship with the first man in your life? Well, unfortunately, the numbers for those who don't have that relationship are staggering and laden with consequences. Children who live in homes without their biological father face tremendous odds. Studies show that they are 2 to 3 times more likely to use drugs and be involved in criminal behavior, while also being more likely to be victims of child abuse. These kids often also go on to struggle with educational, health, and emotional problems. These numbers are higher in the Black community. Well, joining us this morning in the studio is Keith Honeywell. He is Chief Operating Officer of Real Dads Network, a nonprofit organization dedicated to strengthening relationships between fathers and their children, a very, very important cause and mission. Keith, welcome to the show, and thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Let's talk about, before we talk about the solutions that you're addressing with the Real Dads Network, let's talk about some of the underlying problems. You know, I looked at some statistics, and it shows that, 33% of all American children do not have a biological father in their home. 25% of white children do not. However, 34% of Hispanic children do not, but 64% of African American children do not have a biological father in their home. What are some of the reasons for that?
Well, first of all, those are staggering numbers, and they are troubling. We are trying to address them, but we've also found that the vast majority of fathers do want to be involved with their children, regardless of the living or marital situation. So our goal is to get them involved as much as possible.
And is it that they don't know how, Keith? Is it that they don't know how to be involved? Is that part of your mission? What do you do to help fathers?
To a certain extent, there are some who need parenting skills. They need to get a certain amount of maturity. They weren't ready for fatherhood at the time it happened. But also there's a perception that it's an uphill battle that no one is supporting, and that they're out there alone, and there are so many obstacles to overcome that very often it's easier to give up. So we want to show fathers that there is a way to get around those obstacles. There is support. There is an important role that they have to play, and that together we can get them back into the game.
And so in some practical ways, what are some of the services that you provide, the support that you provide for dads?
Well, first of all, we want fathers to know they're not alone. We want them to know that being a real dad is an expectation that we should always have of our fathers. They know when they come to us, they have peer support. They have a place to go to get information. They have strategies that they receive that will help them with family court, with relationships, with not only the child's mother, but with the child itself, and that they can find a place where there are people like them who are going through similar situations.
Have you been able to codify the effects of what you're doing? Do you know what a difference it makes for the dads that come through your program that benefit from your services, what difference it makes for them?
Well, it's too early in the game for any hard numbers, but all the fathers that we deal with, and we deal with those, many of those who have no problems, who already are real dads, and we want to use them as role models. But regardless of the situation, they all do appreciate the service we have, especially the fact that we're saying to the world that we recognize fathers who are doing the right thing, who are there for their children, who are involved regardless of the living or marital situation. So it's good to hear that. It makes fathers feel that they're not alone, they have support, and that their role is being appreciated.
You know, we talked a lot at the beginning of the segment about the effect on the children when they don't have a father in the home. What's the effect on a man who's not able to function effectively in the role as a father?
It's a big part of their self-esteem, especially when you know you have a child that you fathered that is not getting your attention, and in some cases where you're not allowed to be involved, to interact with your child, being kept away. That is a big blow to a man's ego, and every father wants to be involved. Every father wants to be there for the child, to be the child's hero, and they want that opportunity to be involved in some way in the child's life.
All right, very, very, very quickly, what should I get my dad for Father's Day?
A membership to the Real Dads Network.
There you go, of course.
Okay.
Keith Honeywell, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
And happy Father's Day to you.
Yes, happy Father's Day to everybody out there.
Great.